where we left a year ago. PAF versus IAF, 6-0. And since then, we haven't been silent at all. Distinguished guests, respected leadership, members of our armed forces, and my fellow Pakistanis, I take great honor and privilege in hosting and moderating this first anniversary event commemorating Marka-e-Haq. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed further, we present a special documentary. This film captures the essence of Marka-e-Haq, a reflection of national resolve, operational excellence, and the sacrifice that safeguard our sovereignty. I would request all to please direct your attentions to the screens.
Pahalgam. Well, telltale signs of Pakistan's involvement is now emerging behind the Pahalgam terror attack.
This confirmation is clear now that there were Pakistani terrorists.
Pakistan is not willing to digest that so much improvement has taken place in Jammu and Kashmir.
श्रीनगर से आप जाते हैं पहलगांव तो उसमें 11 चौकियां पड़ती हैं। 400 किलोमीटर दूर LOC से कोई आके 1.5 घंटा पैदल आगे रास्ता है, उसमें से मार के वापस चला जाता है। तो ये BSF में क्या ये मेट्रो ट्रेन चल रही है पाकिस्तान और इंडिया की।
इनको कहना चाहिए था हमारी गलती, इतनी बड़ी इतना बड़ा लैप्स है, वहाँ एक सिपाही नहीं था और जबकि वो कश्मीर का सबसे पॉपुलर स्पॉट है।
हमले के 3 दिन पहले ही वहाँ इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट मोदी जी को भेजा था।
मोदी को प्रधानमंत्री पद से इस्तीफा देकर दोबारा चाय बेचनी चाहिए।
कई बार प्रूफ नहीं मिलते, लोग गायब हो गए, जंगलों में चले गए, खत्म हो गए, किस्सा ही खत्म हो गया। हर एक चीज का प्रूफ इसमें नहीं मिलता।
अब देश में बिहार का इलेक्शन आ रहे हैं, इसलिए कश्मीर का मुद्दा आगे कर रहे हैं। वो
लगे रहो बीजेपी वालों ने करवाया, ये जो बीजेपी की सरकार है।
पहलगाम जैसे एरिया, सेंसिटिव एरिया को आपने एक भी आर्मी का जवान वहाँ 2000 से ज्यादा पर्यटकों के लिए छोड़ा नहीं। मुझे बताओ मेरे देश के बच्चों, क्या ये सवाल वाजिब नहीं है?
कौमी सलामती कमेटी ने भारतीय सिफारती और आबी जारहियत का मुंह तोड़ जवाब देने के लिए वजारत खारजा की सिफारिशात मंजूर कर ली हैं।
Recent tragedy in Pahalgam is yet another example of this perpetual blame game which must come to a grinding halt.
7 days have passed since Pahalgam incident, but so far there have been no shred of evidence that has been provided to support the baseless allegations being made against Pakistan.
भारतीय राफेल तैयारी बौखलाहट का शिकार होकर फरार हो गए।
हम तैयार हैं, आजमाना नहीं। We are ready, don't test it.
India have launched Operation Sindoor against Pakistan.
इनका हमें मलबा हमने खुद जमा कर दिया और ये ऐसे ही फर्क है कि 2019 में चाय उधर आके पी थी, 6 और 7 की रात को हमने चाय वहां भिजवाई है।
पाकिस्तान ने भारत के 2 नहीं, 3 नहीं, 4 नहीं, बल्कि 5 तैयारे मार गिराए हैं।
Pakistan claims it has shot down 5 Indian fighter jets.
Pakistan says this is wreckage from one of the 5 Indian aircrafts it says it shot down.
आज मैं कौम को ये बता सकता हूँ बिला खौफ तरदीद कि 5 जहाज नहीं, इन शाहीनों ने 6 जहाज दुश्मन के मारे।
We now move forward to session 2, strategic reflections and future trajectories for Pakistan. The session brings together distinguished voices in security, diplomacy, and national strategy. I request our speakers to kindly join us on stage as I call their names. Firstly, Lieutenant General Amir Riaz, Hilal Imtiaz, military retired, is a distinguished veteran of the Pakistan Army with a highly decorated career that spanned over 3 decades. Known for his strategic acumen and leadership, he held numerous critical command and staff appointments. Notably, he has served as the Director General Military Operations, DGMO, and held the prestigious commands of both the Southern Command in Quetta and the Corps in Lahore. Beyond the battlefield, his intellectual leadership was cemented during his tenure as the President of the National Defense University. Today, as the President of the Center for Global Strategic Studies, he remains a leading voice in shaping Pakistan's strategic thinking. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you for getting me over here. To the subject, which is the emotions obviously run deep when a conflict takes place, and by the grace of Almighty Allah, Pakistan finished it on the top and will continue to do so, inshallah. But that said, I would like to delve a little deeper into the strategic and operational aspects of how things happened and how things are planned to be able to achieve that on a given day. The story of the preparation for such kind of an eventuality began a long time back. All three services of Pakistan, the Pakistan Air Force, Pakistan Army, Pakistan Navy, and the Strategic Plans Division, and many other people who are not directly perhaps involved with the armed forces, many, many years ago, to look at the policy aspects and the strategy of the Indians as it is going to pan out. And there was one single reason for that discussion which lasted for many, many days and weeks before Pakistan decided to take certain measures. There was a study which was carried out, it was carried out many times over, where it was carried out that how that Hindu supremacist organization, which was formed somewhere in the late 20s, or at least came to fore in the late 1920s, they gradually took control of the body politic of the Indian system. And the policy was finally defined by their Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, who's still the Prime Minister, in one of the speeches in New Delhi when he said that now we are going to Balochistan. He named Balochistan. And we could see that what was coming. So the construct of a war is not just an armed conflict. The construct of war is application of the indirect strategy, which is in the form, which is in several forms. They said we will isolate Pakistan, they will destroy Pakistan economically, they will use proxies, and they say it. And they have been saying it many times over. They will diplomatically isolate Pakistan, they economically weaken Pakistan, they will create dissensions within Pakistan, they will use proxies, they will use violent terrorism in Pakistan, and if need be, they will use their military also to undermine Pakistan's deterrence. That was the policy. So that brought people from various walks of life to think about how to now move from here. It was expected that someday insanity will prevail, because please remember, a war or an armed conflict between two nuclear states is sheer stupidity. But human beings do make stupid mistakes. They are driven by their ideologies, they are driven by their nationalism, they are driven by hubris, and sometimes they live in a delusion. We targeted Indian capabilities, that in multi-domain operations we're going to target their capabilities and will defeat them in any eventuality, in any form of military conflict that will emerge. The first demonstration of this took place in 2019, when in Pulwama they conducted a false flag operation. I'll talk about it a little bit also, what is a false flag operation and what's a policy-driven false flag operation, how all these things happen and why they happen. We saw it a little bit in 2016, you might not be very aware of it, but then was 2019, which was quite in the open, when the Indians for the first time used their Air Force in Pakistan in a swift retort. The counter operation was swift retort, in which Pakistan downed their aircraft and one of the pilots was in captivity in Pakistan for a few days and all. So that was the first thing. Now come 2025. And another policy-driven false flag operation was conducted at Pahalgam, and then the rhetoric began. Let me tell you, the platform to platform, they had more numbers. Rafale is not an ordinary aircraft. So it had to be the complete capability. The whole spectrum had to be dealt with. The electronic warfare, the cyber, the air, the missiles, the ranges, the radars, everything had to come in sync while defeating that of the enemy. And that was done on night 6th, 7th and Pakistan Air Force was the lead agency in that. Pakistan cannot allow this to happen. Our strategy is deterrence-based, that you cannot violate Pakistan's territorial integrity and sovereignty and get away with it. This is a decision which was also made a long time back, but obviously the political military leadership of the day had to carry the burden of making this decision. On night 9/10th, there was a lot of pressure which was being exerted from everywhere in the world, because nuclear states are nuclear states, and people do get worried across the world. There was a lot of pressure which was coming in from everywhere, but then Pakistan military and Pakistan political leadership had decided that in larger national security interest of Pakistan, the response, offensive response, shall go, and it went. It was a response which was cyber, electronic warfare, the missiles, the drones, and the aircrafts. The Indians were very, very proud of their S-400s. The S-400 was taken down. And by the way, there are lots and lots of people in the military domain who are still surprised that how Pakistan could do it, but Pakistan did it. So that message was brought home well and proper on the morning of 10th. This time, their cabinet committee of the security, they met, they did not name Pakistan. In rhetoric, Operation Sindoor continues. In reality, deterrence has been established. They did not put it on Pakistan. They did not even call it a terrorist attack. They said an incident, which happened right next to their army headquarters. So that's deterrence back in place. But that said, it's not over yet. But this is not over in rhetoric, and they continue to say it. So we have to be prepared. And one element which is at work consistently is their indirect strategy, in the form of several proxies which are happening in Balochistan, in KP from Afghanistan and from other places, and they have partners in that. So that's where the Pakistani nation, all elements of the state power will have to come together to deal with it. Diplomatic, political, economic, military, national resolve, information, all has to come together to deal with it. It happened in late April, the thing in Pahalgam, and it ended on the 10th May. All domains, the political domain, the diplomatic domain, Pakistan dominated. The information domain, they made mockery of themselves, Pakistan dominated. In the military domain, Pakistan clearly dominated. And obviously, when you put all this together, it put Pakistan back on the regional and the global stage as a nuclear responsible power, not only capable of defending itself, but also contributing towards regional peace, and the reflections of it now you are seeing, as Pakistan stands as an interlocutor between the United States of America and Iran, and hopefully that comes to a reasonable end.
Secondly, I'll request Mr. Mushahid Hussain Sayyid to please join us on stage. Former Senator and Federal Minister for Information, Broadcasting and Culture, Mushahid Hussain Saab is a prominent and influential Pakistani politician, journalist and intellectual, currently serving as a member of the Pakistan-China Institute as the President.
In the name of the Almighty, the Lord of all mankind, I'm very grateful to the ISPR and the NUST for taking this very timely initiative to commemorate a historic event. I just returned this morning from 2 visits to 2 different parts of the world in our vicinity. I was in Turkey, in the Middle East, and then I was in Nepal in South Asia. I was meeting the leaders, there were conferences. And in both regions, in the Middle East, Turkey is, of course, a very close friend of Pakistan and a very important leader of the Muslim world and a member of NATO also. Nepal is a small country, landlocked country, but a friend of Pakistan. In both these countries, I met their ministers, their foreign minister. I also met President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Turkey. There was only one thing they had: respect, praise and admiration for Pakistan and Pakistan's role in defense and diplomacy. And this reminds me of the famous book by the great British wartime leader, Sir Winston Churchill. He said about Britain when they faced the odds against Nazi Germany and Hitler's aggression, he said, this was their finest hour. Marka-e-Haq was our finest hour, mashallah. And why was it a finest hour? I think Munib said rightly that when we are marking today's event, we are also commemorating and paying tribute to truth. सच्चाई की बात कर रहे हैं हम, हक की बात कर रहे हैं. India's miscalculation, in fact Modi's miscalculation, and General Sahab very rightly pointed out that India has a leader whose mindset, whose ideology is based on hate and bigotry. And this was what Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah foresaw 90 years ago when he talked of the two-nation theory, कि इन लोगों से गुजारा नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि इनकी बुनियाद एक बुग़्ज़ है मुसलमानों के खिलाफ, एक नफरत है, और इसीलिए तकसीम हुआ और हमने आज़ादी ली उनकी क़यादत में. The Indians lied about Pahalgam. They had no evidence. They lied about their casualties and the planes that were shot down. Till now they have not given any figures. They lied about the ceasefire also. कि जी ये वो तो कोई किसी का रोल नहीं, हमने bilaterally किया. Although the ceasefire was announced by President Trump and both accepted it. So उनका जो पूरा narrative था was based on a lie because they had lost the war militarily, politically, diplomatically, and on the media front. The courage of our leadership, especially the military leadership and the nation of Pakistan, बहादुरी के साथ, दलेरी के साथ कि ठीक है आ जाओ यार मुकाबला कर लो, देखी जाएगी, we will face you, we are not scared of you, we will not blink. That is number one. Then the competence, professionalism and competence of our armed forces, Army, Air Force and Navy, that excelled. And I think there's no doubt our pilots are probably among the best in the world. पुलवामा हो गया, उनके जहाज दो गिरा दिए हैं, अभिनंदन को पकड़ भी लिया, उसको छोड़ भी दिया, चाय भी पिला दी हमने. Because Pakistanis are a very warm and generous and hospitable people. दिल हमारा बड़ा है, हिंदुस्तान का दिल बहुत छोटा है, बड़ा मुल्क है, दिल बहुत छोटा है, ये फर्क है. 2nd of March 2019, Narendra Modi makes a statement. We note कर लें. Munib, you are a journalist, please note. 2nd March, काश हमारे पास राफेल जहाज होते, तो उसका outcome different होता. Only I wish, ये 2019 को कह रहा है, 7 साल पहले, 6 साल पहले, कि जी हमारे पास काश राफेल जेट्स होते, तो शायद उसका रिजल्ट मुख्तलिफ होता. उसको राफेल नहीं थे उनके पास. And they had the Rafales. And आपने कहा 6 जहाज गिराए हैं, लेकिन जो मैं सुन रहा था परसों प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ने कहा 11 जहाज. So I would like to believe that. So this has been, why do I say it's been a turning point? इसके 3 implications are strategic. Number 1, Pakistan, mashallah, has today emerged as a major Muslim middle power in the heart of the Muslim world, in the heart of Middle East and South Asia, and also a net security provider. As a key country, both in defense and diplomacy. And its soldier statesman, Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir, has achieved a certain status that he's become Trump, my favorite Field Marshal. And so you can see it's all across. And that favoritism also goes to the MBS, Mohammed bin Salman and Rajab Tayyip Erdogan and other Muslim leaders because of the performance on the field, because you delivered results. That's number one. Pakistan ka muqam, Pakistan ki ahmiyat, Pakistan ka kirdar, Tehran ho, Riyadh ho, Ankara ho, Beijing ho, Moscow ho, Washington ho, we are the country which is trusted. We are the country which is the go-to country. We are the country which is serving as a bridge of peace. But in this, Pakistan's role is very credible, very clear because of our own capabilities, and inshallah, Pakistan will play that role of a leader. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah had said, Pakistan is the pivot of the world, placed on the frontier where the future geopolitics of the world will revolve. And that is what is happening today. So we must, Allah Ta'ala ka shukr ada kare. Kai log nashukri karte hain ki hum azad mulk ke azad bashinde hain. See what is happening Hindutva and Akhand Bharat in Hindustan, what they are doing with their own people, with Muslims and others. Thank God for Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad.
Lastly, we welcome Mr. Sardar Masood Khan on stage. Sardar Masood Khan is an eminent Pakistani diplomat and public intellectual with a distinguished career in foreign service and international affairs. Most recently, he served as the ambassador of Pakistan to the United States of America from 22 to 23, playing a pivotal role in strengthening bilateral ties.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Two powerful speeches have already been delivered. On that day, last year, I was in Muzaffarabad, and Indians chose to attack Pakistan. April the 22nd, we were hearing about India's aggression. And on that day, that aggression occurred. They had challenged a very proud nation, a nation that had survived despite many vicissitudes in its history. And it was determined to protect its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, and its political independence. Pakistan was attacked that it would be able to confront India the way it did. So I say that this is a proud moment for the people of Pakistan, because in the very few first hours of that war, Pakistan had defeated India decisively, on which we must pay tribute to the armed forces of Pakistan, because the armed forces of Pakistan made Pakistan proud last year. And this is a moment also to remember our fallen soldiers who gave their lives for the protection of their homeland. But if we replicate and proliferate this model, we will become stronger. Previous panelists have already spoken about Marka-e-Haq, but Marka-e-Haq will let me briefly touch on some of the points. Militarily, we demonstrated our credible deterrence. What happens is that when two wrestlers are fighting, or before fight, they keep hurling these challenges towards each other. So, when is the credibility of deterrence established? It's during a war. And last year, we established beyond a shadow of doubt that Pakistan did not establish only parity, it established supremacy and superiority. Second, again, a tribute to the armed forces of Pakistan, that it was a coordinated and integrated operation. And that demonstrated the doctrinal clarity over planning and its execution. Another dimension was that there were always these doubts about the kind of imbalance that we have with India, our bigger neighbor. Do you know that we use JF-17 and J10C, and their market overnight skyrocketed because of the performance, the sterling performance that was given by the armed forces of Pakistan. And finally, what I want to say, that our response was precise and proportional. I have heard military leaders sharing this insight with us, that they could have taken down 20 aircraft of India, but they restrained themselves. And we have several counts. I mean, our count is 6 and President Trump's count is 11. But I think we invested in precision and proportionality. And the President of the United States was thankful to you. He said, thank you so much. And he started liking Field Marshal Asim Munir and the Prime Minister of Pakistan. And he mentions their names on every occasion, which is watched all around the world by the chancelleries and the foreign offices and also the capitals of the world. The social media was used as a weapon by Pakistani citizens, and this was a first too. I'm highlighting that because of this peculiar nature of Indian aggression, the entire nation, very few people know that during the last war between Iran, Israel, and the United States of America, when Field Marshal Asim Munir was at the White House, during that meeting, President Trump requested General Asim Munir to advance very confidential and sensitive conversations between Washington and Tehran. And Pakistan fulfilled that responsibility admirably and with skill and precision. And that led to the mediatory role that we have today, as a matter of fact, because of that performance. And this year, when I talk about the mediation, I mean, this is related directly or indirectly to Marka-e-Haq, and that's why I'm highlighting it. That Pakistan first consolidated consensus within the region, then it sought the help of China, then it got the backing of Russian Federation and the European Union, the European Council, and also Australia, Canada, the Gulf countries, Egypt, Turkey. All the countries trust Pakistan. This is also unprecedented in diplomatic history. I'm not saying in the diplomatic history of Pakistan. When we tested nuclear weapon, and I would say Marka-e-Haq, because during Marka-e-Haq, we had decisive victory. You can have different opinions about 1948, 1965, 1971, 1999, but there is no shadow of doubt about the victory, Fateh Mubin of Pakistan in 2025. India is a sworn enemy of Pakistan, and it wants to hurt Pakistan. They have said the Operation Sindoor has not ceased, that it has only been paused. We have to remain vigilant. And India, as I speak to you, is wreaking vengeance against Pakistan because of that humiliating defeat through its proxies in Afghanistan. So we are in a state of war. They have patronized not only Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS-K, and they're using them to attack Pakistan civilians and security personnel and commit acts of terrorism. So be vigilant. The war is not over. We have another unfinished business. The people of Pakistan, the state of Pakistan, we have to liberate the state of Jammu and Kashmir from the occupation of India. That we take full advantage of the opportunities that have been created by Marka-e-Haq. And we have to attract investment from the United States, from Europe, from the Gulf region. We have demonstrated diplomatic agility in maintaining an equilibrium and balance between China and the United States of America. India used to tout itself as the net security provider in the Indo-Pacific region. And I say, after the mediation efforts, that Pakistan has become net stability provider in the region.